Hello, it is Friday, January 28th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Friday puzzle, our first themeless puzzle of the week, and this themeless edition of the Daily Solve is brought to you by benefactors Victoria Rojishka, Calixto Navarro, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster. So thank you to the three of them. As I say, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. The Patreon campaign is the way to help directly support this channel, make it a sustainable part of my daily work. So, if you would like more information on that, if you'd like to join their ranks at the benefactor level, which gets you the Let's Check the Crosses Daily Solve mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve. But that's also where you can find information about any level of the Patreon, all of which at any contribution receive access to the many bonus solves that are already up on the channel, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And actually, I'm due for another weekly mini puzzle speed solve today. And I noticed in the Discord chat server there are, I think, enough community created puzzles to do another round of solves of the Constructor's Corner channel on the Discord chat server, puzzles made there by members of the community. So I'll solve several of those in one video, again, for the Patreon. I really, really enjoy those. So I was pleased to see that there's enough material to do another one soon. So I will. And I suppose that's it. So do remain until the end of the video for comments from yesterday's puzzle. Some interesting context there, including, I guess there was an error in yesterday's puzzle that I didn't encounter, fortunately, but several viewers did. Anyway, first, let's solve today's crossword, the Friday crossword, Friday, January 28th, as I said. This is a themeless puzzle constructed by Jem Birch. This is Jem's second New York Times crossword, so fairly new to at least this particular puzzle, and edited, as always, by Will Shorts. And I don't know what else to say, so let's get started. Okay. Solicit in slang. It could be hit up in slang. I'll hit you up for some advice or borrow some money, something like that. And what about the crosses? Some head coverings. Hijabs, maybe? Not sure. Let's look at the crosses. Not appropriate. And here we have caught. Could it possibly be in a net? No. In a trap? I don't know. That seems sort of odd. So obviously that would be caught as an adjective rather than caught as a verb, but I don't know. I'm sort of grasping at straws. Alternative to walk or go by bus. Take a cab, I suppose? How about that? And flip might be flip. So it could mean flip as in turn something around. It could mean flip as in lose your temper. I'm not sure. And spread makeup, abbreviation. So could be spread as in a big table of food. It could be spread as in a magazine or newspaper layout. That's the term for the layout of the pages, the elements on the text and images and everything. That's the spread. Could be spread as in something you put on another food like hummus or something like that. What is it? Spread makeup. Pages, maybe? Could end in an S either way. North and South writer, John Blank. I feel as though I should know this. What is this? And here we have Egyptian sun deity. Is this Amen? And caught. What is this? Actor who received an Emmy nomination for playing Dr. Anthony Fauci on SNL. I have absolutely no idea. And what about this? Egg container. It could be sack. This will end with an S, probably either way. It does look like hijabs, doesn't it, actually, now that we have that A in there. So what about this? Not appropriate. I suppose it could be not appropriate, as in you don't take something, but I doubt that's the case. Not appropriate. Why do I not see what that is? If this were pages, I don't know. Is this John Jakes caught in Flip. Oh, flip could be upend, right. And then not appropriate, inapt. There we go. It's not apt. It's not appropriate. All right, probably should have gotten that earlier. So spread makeup. Oh, okay, points. There's another meaning of spread that didn't come to mind for me, which is the spread. You're making a bet on the outcome of a sports match or something about that, and the point spread is what you're betting on. All right, there we go. And add actor who received an Emmy nomination, right, for playing Dr. Fauci. Brad Pitt, I guess. I don't know if that's correct, but Brad fits pretty cleanly and Pitt fits as well. So maybe it's that. And caught. It's just not Amen. Egyptian sun deity. Oh, Aten. Aten. Yes, that's more. That sounds more correct. I'm not any kind of expert on this, but Aten sounds right to me. Okay, caught in a trap, Egyptian sun deity, Aten, and then, so this actually looks all right. So I did the thing I probably shouldn't have done, which is burrow into this one corner. I probably should have just moved on. I probably would have gotten some more easy crosses, but I stuck with it and got there. Occasion for kids to stay up late. I don't know. Some kind of party? And extreme athletes with parachutes. Extreme athletes with parachutes. I don't know. I'm sorry. Have to get some crosses on that one. Introduce gradually. Introduce gradually. Actor Emilio Estevez? Director of the Evil Dead franchise. That's Sam Raimi. I think Sam Raimi, I think the clue was director Sam blank, and somehow I didn't get Raimi, even though I'm certainly familiar with his work. Anyway, I seem to be having better luck with the downs, don't I? What about this? Were present. Are. There we go. So here's question mark. There's an indicator of a word play or pun. And when this says were present, the word play is that we're literally taking the word were and imagining the present tense version of it. Are. They were this way, they are this way. And that's all there is to it. Cheesy sandwiches for snackers. Ritz something. Ritz. Those little Ritz crackers with cheese in between them. What are those called? I have no idea. Cheesy sandwiches for snackers. Ritz what? I don't know. I don't know that I knew they had a specific name, but I guess they must, because they're presumably marketed with that name. Event with clowns. A rodeo, I suppose, has clowns. Rodeo clowns who distract the bull when necessary. And sentences. Probably ends with an S, right? And like many a lemon, eventually. Like many a lemon, eventually. So this could be a lemon as in a car that's basically, maybe non-functionals put it too strongly, but a car that is a disaster, basically. A car, you've bought a lemon, you've bought a car, you've overpaid for a car with innumerable problems that may eventually be sold for parts. There we go. That does look like it fits. And about could be or so, maybe. You could say, there are, I don't know. We've done about half of this puzzle or so we've done or so, but can't really replace it in a sentence very easily, can you? You'd have to say it in a very specific way. Yeah, I'm not sure. What about the crosses here? Moving images, apparently. Moving images, apparently. Not sure. Is this something about the persistence of vision? How when we see moving images, these are all just still images, but it appears that they're moving? I'm not sure. Badgered at length. And stadium cry. It could be Olé in a football match. In soccer, that association football. Source of a big scoop. A ladle, I suppose. It is literally a big scoop. Well, it's the source. You do a big scoop with a ladle. Badgered at length. And begotten. And here we have student of the classics, say. Literati? Is that what that could be? Sort of member of the literati? I'm not really very confident about that. Lit seems plausible, though, for literature. And regained one's composure. Picked up, maybe. Introduced gradually. Okay, I'm sort of running all over the place here. What is this? Blank shark. I don't know. Pool shark? Is that a thing? Is there sort of an inflatable shark that you put in a pool and that's a phrase? I have no idea. Oh, badgered at length could be rode. Right. So maybe that is pool shark. And about, I suppose about is orso. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I see why they're similar, but you don't use them in quite the same way. Oh, moving images apparently op art. So that refers to optical illusions. Op for optical art, I suppose. When you certain patterns that are static images, but because of the way that our brains try and I don't know, sort of unpick the patterns, they can appear to move, that sort of thing. Op art. Okay, begotten. Oh, I see. Sired. So, sired a foal. I don't know. Begotten. A child. Reared a child. Okay, student of the classics, right? So we thought lit there, and then regained one's composure. And here we have introduce gradually. And here we have whew, that's hot. So steamy? I don't know. No. I don't know what that is. Here we have like bogeymen. Feared, of course. That's more simple than I was making it out to be. Some of the Dead Sea Scrolls. And like Al Jazeera. Be right there. And chopped liver, so to speak. Chopped liver, so to speak. So this probably isn't referring literally to the dish chopped liver, but rather to the phrase, what am I, chopped liver? I'm nothing. You don't think I'm anything. I don't know. Where's this again? Some of the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? Word before Dobla or Robles. Paso or Pasa? Maybe. And I don't know. Maybe I'll just move on for now. Not doing well in that corner, am I? Occasion for kids to stay up late. Oh, so this does look like party, doesn't it? Oh, pajama party. Right, okay. So I suppose a bunch of children all at a friend's house or something. Late, pajama party. Maybe they stay over as well. Maybe it's also a slumber party. I'm not really sure what the conventions and rules around that is, where the dividing line is drawn. Okay, regained one's composure. Simmered down? Maybe? Hear that phrase sometimes, simmer down, simmer down. Regain your composure, I guess you might say. Maybe that's what that is. Let's see here. Could it just be or maybe HMM? Introduce gradually. Right, phase in. All right, lots of answers I feel as though I should have probably gotten a little bit earlier. Student of the classics, say, lit major. I see. You could have your major in an American university. You could focus on literature, and then you'd be, in part anyway, a student of the classics. Base jumpers are extreme athletes with parachutes. I forget what base. I think base is an acronym, actually. I don't remember what it stands for. But now that I've said that, someone will tell me, and I will know tomorrow. Well, I'll know today because I'll read the comment. But you'll know tomorrow when I read the comment. Or maybe you'll just look it up. Anyway, Space Force. Zero gravity. So the force of gravity in space is zero. And there is a question mark on that clue. So that does suggest a pun or wordplay. So we don't mean to... Essentially, that's saying don't read this with its surface meaning. The most obvious way this would be read is in Space Force, I don't know, some kind of, the military unit in space, like I guess the recently created Space Force, but read it in a different way, in a way that relies on some kind of pun or wordplay. Okay, add some flair to, jazz up, I suppose. And less clear could be hazy. No, not hazier. Gauzier, maybe? I haven't done this in a while. I used to always refer to the gauzy privacy veil that covered up the crossword before we click OK to begin playing. It may involve a mask. Gas something? I'm not sure. Grow on trees, so to speak. Abound. So here we have another so to speak, like chopped liver, so to speak. And in this case, I think what they mean is they're referring to the idiomatic version of these phrases. So here we're not referring to things that literally grow on trees. We're referring to the expression, money doesn't grow on trees, for instance. Money doesn't abound. I don't think he would say money doesn't abound, but it strictly works, if you see what I mean. Some subs. Could be submarine, could be subway, could be submarine sandwich, it could be subscriptions. Maybe subscriptions is the most likely. Could be teachers, substitute teachers, or any other kind of substitute. I don't know. Met with someone online, maybe. Actually, this doesn't look great, does it? No. Maybe I should delete both of these because I don't know which one is wrong, but one of them seems wrong. Structure with many layers. Question mark, pun or wordplay. I wonder if layers is itself like egg layers, like a chicken coop, maybe? Yeah, maybe that's what that is. It may involve a mask. Some subs. Cartesian conclusion. And is that I am? I think, therefore I am? I'm not sure. Member of George W. Bush's cabinet, familiarly. Oh, Condoleezza Rice. And so I suppose both the G.W. Bush and the word familiarly are cluing us into the nickname here rather than a full name, Condoleezza, or Rice for that matter. Crib sound could be a coo. You could have a baby cooing in a crib, maybe. Kid's cut, perhaps, could be an owie. So the kid's wound, an owie, perhaps. And if you're not taken by something, you're onto it. And if you say will do, you'll say on it, which is sort of similar. Onto it and on it. And that fills in this. Sentences, dooms. Oh, I see. So you could sentence someone to death. You could doom them to death, I suppose. Cheesy sandwiches for snackers, right? I don't know what these are called, Ritz somethings, but they probably end with an S, actually. Literally fly in Setswana. Oh, I wonder if that's tsitsi, which in English we would say tsitsi fly, but I suppose it sounds as though that might be completely redundant. There are obviously many phrases like that. Words before un beso. Un beso. Is that a kiss? Could say yo quiero? No. No. Oh, I can't think. My Spanish is so poor. Less forgiving. Stingier, maybe? What is this? Poppycock? Rot. Less forgiving. Stricter. There, of course, that makes sense. All right, so do these cheesy sandwiches, am I making any progress here? Ritz, I don't know, bits maybe? I mean, it rhymes, and often this sort of thing rhymes. Endemic, yeah, maybe actually it is. Endemic flora and fauna would be the biota, the parts of the biome, the natural environment that are endemic, that are native to this area. Drink with a polar bear mascot must be an icy. Sorry, I was just thinking about some of these clues. Let's see. Insinuated could be got at. So if this, yo te amo, I love you before a kiss. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't a little quicker to that one. Express lane tally could be items. You could have 12 items or fewer, for instance, to be able to go into the express lane at a market, at a grocery store. And the Faroe Islands, autonomous part of Denmark. Yes, part of, they're self-governing, but part of the Kingdom of Denmark, I believe. And animated snippet is a GIF or a GIF, depending on your preference. A graphical interchange format. I think fully the CompuServe graphical interchange format originally. Met with someone online, maybe. Oh, right. What is this? Could this be an E word? I don't know. Maybe not. What about this? Had could be 8. I'm wondering because I'm thinking met with someone online, met with in the past could end in ED. So maybe had is 8. And some trip on it. Some trip on LSD. I didn't look at these earlier. I probably should have. It may involve a mask. Oh, a facial. So maybe this is I am. I think, therefore I am. Cartesian conclusion. And some subs. Oh, U-boats, perhaps. And then less clear is fuzzier, and grow in trees is indeed abound. And then met with someone online maybe is zoomed. Had a Zoom meeting. Video call. There we go. All right. And some of the Dead Sea Scrolls are papyri, papyrus, plural, papyri. And whew, that's hot. So spicy. Right. In this case, hot as in very spiced to eat. Okay. Oh, sorry, I just saw this. Key next to Q, and ridiculously, even though I know what key that is, I still instinctively looked down at my keyboard to look at what was next to the... Every time I'd say it, I keep doing it. Ridiculous. Stop it, brain. Anyway, it's the tab key, which I knew, but which my brain felt compelled to confirm every single time I considered the concept, which is somehow maddening. I see. Chopped liver, so to speak, is nobody. What am I? Chopped liver, who am I? Nobody. And what was this again? Right, like Al Jazeera, Qatari. And, I haven't seen this clue yet. Chinese dynasty in which the terracotta army was built. Qin dynasty, is that how you'd say that? And year in Brazil would be an año, and then be right there is in a sec. All right, there we go. So we finished off the Friday puzzle. Had several tough areas for me in this puzzle. I suppose, actually, when I think about it, I sort of, even this original, the first area that I completely filled, this little corner here, this northwestern corner, even that, I do think I had to battle with it a fair amount before I got it filled in. So I suppose there wasn't necessarily any major region of this puzzle that I just sailed through. This is a good... I haven't really been in the habit of checking whether particular answers are first-time appearances in the New York Times crossword, but I did for one puzzle last week, and I was very surprised. There were some fairly mundane words that had never been in the New York Times crossword before, or had been, but not during the Will Shortz era, so not in the past few decades. And it's a reminder how absolutely enormous the English language vocabulary is, that you can have relatively normal words that across thousands and thousands of crosswords have never actually ended up being used yet. And then you see things like so spicy and maybe pajama party or even base jumpers and think, well, there's a reasonable likelihood those have never been in a crossword before, or very rarely anyway. Especially long answers. You sort of have to build the puzzle around them to get this sort of thing in, I would imagine, at least to some extent. Small words, I would imagine, it's much more easy to move them around and swap things out in a little corner, but something like pajama party with that J, and actually then base jumpers, which also has the J, and actually, now that I'm just looking at this, quite a few Z's, zero gravity, fuzzier, Ritz bits. Yeah, so, and then Jake's up here, another J. Yeah. Anyway, I think this was a really nice themeless grid. Lots of interesting answers. So spicy, pajama party, base jumpers, zero gravity, and there was that ridiculous, I think, slightly ridiculous answer in yesterday's puzzle that was something like undo send. It sort of reminds me of So Spicy, except that So Spicy, I think, maps very well to Phew, that's hot. And it's the kind of thing you could easily imagine somebody saying, ooh, so spicy. Whereas undo send, I just found to be an incredibly awkward and strange phrase. It sounds almost like a sort of robot in a film. Undo send, that sort of thing. So with these arbitrary phrases, I do think there is kind of a sliding scale of how plausible and satisfying they are as answers. And I find this more more satisfying than undo send, even though I kind of put them in the same general category. They're both effectively phrases someone might say or type or use, or I don't know, I guess press on a button. But they're not all equal, are they? And then Ritz bits. I bet that I wouldn't be surprised at all if that were a first as well. Another Z. And I didn't know it, but it got there. I think the intuiting that brand names often rhyme was helpful. Anyway, let me know how you fared with this puzzle. Certainly trickier than the other puzzles I've solved this week, but it is a Friday, so that is expected. See how tomorrow's is, the Saturday. And let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. Actually, speaking of yesterday's puzzle, which I did bring up a moment ago. So there was an error in that puzzle, and quite a few people in the comments experienced it, unfortunately. So Thomas Burton explains, the puzzle I got in my New York Times app had an error where the repeat symbols were positioned in the no man is an island response. They were shifted one cell to the left. So they covered the letters M-A-N-I rather than A-N-I-S. With repetition, so if you remember yesterday's puzzle, there were the musical score repeat signs that indicated we had to repeat certain sequences of letters. The answer would, with repetition, the answer would spell no man, I'm an island, instead of no man is an island, which was the correct answer. It really confused me and made it much tougher to figure out the theme mechanic until I eventually decided it must have been an error. The error isn't present in Chris's grid, so they must have issued an update shortly after the puzzle was released. And Jeffrey Baird replied and said, same with me, with the repeat being Manny, not Anis. No man is an island, just wasn't there. However, no man, I'm an island, is there. A more contemporary reading, perhaps? And Thomas Burton replies in turn to say, yes, I had to double check the clue to make sure it wasn't sassy reply to a John Donne poem or something. And that's the funny thing about that sort of error. Because of the way that themes in the crossword often work, you could easily imagine that kind of thing being a plausible answer. No, man, I'm an island. Sassy reply to a John Donne poem. That's a very good theoretical clue here from Thomas Burton. And you could imagine that being the theme. Or at least, I guess it would have to be a sort of double-barreled theme in this case. It would have to have both the repeat and also the punniness. But it's totally plausible. Sometimes you get themes that are like that. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on, Kathy Swope explains that a gusher, which I speculated was related to oil drilling, is indeed another name for a blowout, the uncontrolled release of crude oil or natural gas from an oil or gas well after pressure control systems have failed. Modern wells have blowout preventers intending to prevent blowouts. The movie image of a gusher is a column of oil spilling into the sky. And Kathleen Quinn has a similar explanation and points out the Beverly Hillbillies TV show showed a gusher more as seepage above ground when oil was found on the Clampett's property. And more recently, a gusher can occur when an oil rig component fails, as happened alongside other causes during the Deepwater Horizon blowout in 2010 in the Gulf of Mexico, among the largest environmental disasters in U.S. history. Okay, so Yakushi said, I had to look up rotomontade. Apparently, or rotomontade, I think it might be. I looked it up. Apparently it means boastful talk. It can also be a verb. There's nothing to be gained by rotomontading. You initially wondered if it had something to do with walking, but I expect you may be mixing it with promenade. Yeah, I think I did sort of wonder that. And then also I was wondering if there was some sort of, the roto had something to do with movement. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's actually, oh no, sorry. Remy explains, this is interesting, in French, après-ski doesn't refer to having a hot beverage in a chalet, but to the snow boots you wear after removing your ski boots. That's really interesting. So après-ski it's sort of, the words are borrowed from French, after skiing, but they have a meaning in the English language that is distinct to their meaning in French. That's very interesting and good to know. And Remy points out his source on this is I am indeed French. So I think we can take his word at face value on that one. And that's that for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe to the channel. And if you know someone who might enjoy it, pass it along to them as well, either directly or through your online community of choice, whatever that might be. And thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. I always mean to say that at the beginning of the video, and sometimes I forget, for which I'm very sorry. So thank you to everybody who's backed it at any level at any time. I very much appreciate it. You can, of course, find that at patreon.com/dailysolve and join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in the description field underneath the video. You can check out those, you can solve all of those community-created crosswords in the Constructor's Corner channel before I get a chance to do it on video, so I don't spoil them for you if you're a Patreon subscriber and you see that video. And I suppose that's it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Saturday puzzle, our second themeless puzzle, and very likely the most difficult puzzle of the week. So do come back for that. I hope you do. But until then, have an excellent remainder of your Friday. Take care.